it's time. So I'll start introducing myself. My name is Bettina. I'm from Denmark, and at the moment we are sitting in Denmark. I'm a former boxer, and now I'm a boxing coach, and I am the founder of Ladies United BC. Yeah.
My name is Katalin, and I'm originally from Hungary. I was born and raised in Hungary, but I decided to relocate 12 years ago, and I moved to Denmark. So that's why I'm here now, sitting in Denmark and doing the things I'm doing. I'm the co-founder of Ladies United BC, and former boxer, kickboxer, mostly kickboxer, but also did some boxing as well. So it's nice here, been to Denmark, that's really nice. So today this is our second Ladies United boxing chat. A week ago we had a really amazing boxer, Ramla Ali, as a guest, and we had, I think, a really nice chat. Today we have another amazing, awesome fighter with us, will be with us. But before we go there, I would like to introduce a little bit about what we do and why we do it. This is Ladies United Boxing Chat, as we mentioned before. Our goal is to highlight some of the stories and the people behind the gloves. A nice and, just like a down-to-earth conversation with female fighters mostly, and ask them about challenges, success, failure, and all kind of things. So this is basically what we do. What we are more than just two of us. Unfortunately, we don't have the possibility to have our friend with us, Nora, who is actually also a Swedish boxer, and she's also a part of doing Ladies United BC. She's responsible for our awesome logos and things, so she's also with us, probably joining us also here on our live. So as I mentioned, today we have another guest, an amazing fighter, and we would like to tell her story. And we have some actually questions to her, of course. Yeah. We know her personally, she's our friend, but I think there are still things we don't know about her. So we have some questions to her today. But I think, again, like last week, it's mostly Bettina who is the right person to introduce her, because they have been actually, they have met in the ring, so they know each other also as opponents. So I will give you the word, I think, to introduce our guest today.
So this like a friendship we have with this person is from 2013. I met her in the ring in Denmark at Hillerød Boxer Cup, and she whooped my ass totally. I think that is the only fight where I got like shaken 5 times in the ring, but luckily it didn't get stopped, the fight, and we finished the fight. And after we like started a really good friendship. And I also have to say that the friendship have been since 2013, and in 2014 she visited us in Denmark to the very first international women sparring camp we had. So there was people from Denmark and Sweden and her from Belgian. So yeah, we have a long and nice journey, but I think we should invite her into the chat now. Yes. Second.
Hopefully.
Yes,
I've seen.
Hey.
How are you?
Good.
It's so nice to see you. It's been a while, eh?
Yeah. How are you?
I'm good. I'm caressing my dog here, and I'm just relaxing in the sofa.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see you guys, or girls. And Charlotte is also with me. I will just let her wave. Hey guys! So yeah, I'm pretty well. Seeing the circumstances with the COVID and the knee, I'm pretty okay.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah, we're also okay. Like
You've been busy, right?
Yeah, I mean, we just launched our Ladies United boxing campaign with Pride about discrimination, racism, and homophobia. So that's something we really support in Ladies United. I think that's also like
I mean, no,
why
we don't support that. I mean, we have 0 to 0.
yeah, exactly. But we support pride.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is what I wanted to say. So
I think we should start in the very beginning, because actually when we were getting ready for making questions, and we were pretty curious. We know many of the things. We talked a lot of boxing. I think the past years, but still, I think it would be nice to know how you got in touch with boxing.
All right.
How did you end up in the ring?
yeah.
So actually, when I was younger, it's kind of a negative, positive story. When I was younger, my mother had a quite violent boyfriend, and I had a lot of aggression and frustration in me. And I tried to find like a sport where I could like canalize everything that was going on, like really finding a passion. And my brother was into skateboarding. He was quite good at it. He had sponsor deals and everything. So what I did was just doing the same thing. I took my skateboard and I went out, but it wasn't really my passion. So when I was, I think, 19 years old, there was a friend of mine who was like, "You should come with me and we can go to the boxing gym." So I stepped into the boxing gym in Roeselaar, my hometown, and I can still relate to the smell of boxing, the sweat, and you could smell the hard work. And I was like, "Wow, this is an amazing place." And so we started the routine, like the shadow boxing and like rope skipping and everything. And like at certain points, I had to go on the pads really from the first day. And I was like hitting, and I was like, wow, I have this feeling with it. It was like kind of freedom, I think. And like everything I had in me, all this energy. After that first session, I was like feeling so relieved. And I fell in love with boxing. And so the next day I was standing there like really excited to get into boxing. And the coach was like, "I don't want to train a girl," which is like typical in boxing, but you hit hard, you hit really hard. And I think there's something in you and we should train you and then you can go do a competition. And I think after 3 months, I did my first fight. But you have to know, my first club, it was more fighting than boxing. It was like kind of a false start. And I had to box the North Holland champion. She was like 20 centimeters bigger than me. She had like loads of experience and she kicked my ass. It was crazy.
Everyone starts, when we go back and remember our first fights, everyone says like they got their ass kicked.
It was. I was feeling gutted because everyone was like, "Yeah, you're a great boxer." I was like 3 months into the sport, and with everyone telling me that I was good, I was like, "Okay, I have the self-confidence. I go in the ring. I'm just gonna hit it, and I'm gonna win this." So it was a real big disappointment, but it taught me to be. It taught me a lot of things, and so I stepped out of the ring, and I was like, "I'm not ready for this." And then I switched coaches as well and got into a better gym. And I think I waited for 1 year, 1 year and a half to go back into the ring. And I felt a lot better. And like I never had the athletic experience like Charlotte, for example. She's a triathlete. She's been into sports since her 6 years old. But I was like 19 years old and I never was into sports. So it was a whole new world for me. And it was a lot of lessons to be learned. That's
Do you remember your exactly thoughts just after the fight when you lost?
Excuse me?
Your thoughts just after the fight when you lost?
I was really sad. Because for the first time in my life, I did something that made my fire burn. And I thought I was really good at it, so I was really disappointed. And that was, I think, my first feeling and my first thought, and I was really sad. It made me cry.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a nice feeling. It's really weird because I don't get emotional really fast, but yeah, it hurted me inside that I didn't win that fight because there was like a lot of family and I wanted to prove something and like to get this confirmation, and I kind of failed. But it was a hard lesson, but a good lesson. You know?
What made what made you go back to the gym after that fight?
I think I really liked the intensity of the gym and training, and I was still in love with the sport. It was not like I'm gonna do this fight and I lose this one time and then I didn't want to give up. I wanted to be better, I wanted to be stronger, and I wanted to grow into the sport to evolve into a better athlete. Yeah. And it was also like my only, at home, I didn't have a great home. So for me, it was also kind of a routine to get out of the home and just to train. And my self-confidence was like getting better. And, I was like more chubby when I was younger, and like my body changed, my mind changed. And I just felt really, really good in the gym with training. I love training. I love to do the work before to get into the fight. I love it.
But how did your mind change? Because you said your mind changed doing boxing.
Yes. For me, boxing before was like the aggressive side of myself getting out.
Yeah.
But now it's more like I love the game. I have more heart for the game. Before it was just to get out of this aggression. It was psychologically. But now it's more like I love this game and I want to get everything out of it. I want to learn about it. It's different. I go into the ring and I have more. It's more pleasure than like this aggression feeling you have. Like before, it was like I have to do this because I have to, because my coach said it, and I just have to be strong and better. But now it's like I want to do it, and I want to learn, and I want to evolve. It's different. I fell in love in a different kind of way with the sport.
I think it's really interesting because, sometimes we have motivations, different kind of motivations. Sometimes you try to run away from something, and that's what motivates us to do something. But it's also that can be a really good help in the beginning, but afterwards, when you found the pleasure and the good thing in boxing, then you went to the other kind of motivation when you say, what do I want to achieve in this? Like there was something in front of you that pulled you, and not something that pushed you. I
had like this kind of lifestyle of going out and having fun. And I smoked and I drank and but then suddenly my lifestyle changed and everything in my life was about boxing, and it kept me going.
What about, because you said, you had your first fight, you lost, you were sad, and then you said you had like a year or something, a break before you had another fight. How was it for you to go back in the ring? What kind of, mindset did you have when you got back to the fight again?
Well, I was more motivated and I had more confidence. Like I knew I learned a lot in that short period. A year is not that long. And with the coach I had back then, it was my second coach, there was another kind of relationship. And he like mentally got me really prepared for the fights. Before it was another coach and he was just like, you go in there and do 1, 2, 3, 4 and knock her out. That was his kind of style. Really weird. I can't imagine right now that someone had to go to that coach, And,
after 3 months of boxing only, it's like short time.
Yeah. It was too short. But they were like, they want to sell tickets, and I was the only girl, so they wanted to have a fight with a girl in the boxing night. And in Belgium, boxing hasn't been that popular since a long time, so for them it was exclusive to get a girl in the ring. I think that's why I had to get in there.
Can you tell us a little bit about the amateur career you had in the beginning? Like how was it for you to fight, and
In the beginning, it was really hard because I had like 2 opponents in Belgium in my weight category. Belgium isn't that big, so there are not a lot of girly boxers. And both of them had done the European Championships, and one of them was the silver medalist. Yeah. So I got into the ring with her, and she was well known by the refs, and everyone was like, yeah, she's so cool. And then I had to fight her. I was the underdog. And so the first time I boxed her, it was at her home place, and I got a draw. And I was really excited because I was like, I'm going to her place and I got a draw. So I was really happy because I knew her history in boxing. Yeah. And then I had to fight her 5 times more in my amateur career. And the second time I lost, and I didn't understand it. I was like hitting her and everything went well. And afterwards I went to the referees and they were like, yeah, you're boxing too much in defense. Yeah. So that changed my game a little bit. And then in Belgium, I think amateur boxing, in I think 11 fights, I had seen the Belgian team. Yeah. And then my coach was like, that was the coach of Delphine Persoon, the world champion in the WBC. He was like, you should turn pro. And I was like, okay, I have 11 boxing fights. And I should go pro. I'm like, why? Mm. And then I went for the first time into an international tournament. It was the European Union Championship in 2011, I think. Mm. And my hand was broken. And the federation was like, you're not going. But my coach was like, you have to go, otherwise you're not welcome anymore in the club. Okay. That was awful. It was crazy. So I went there with a broken hand and I fought a girl from Austria. And I won that fight, but the second fight I had a Polish opponent, and it was in Poland as well. And my hand, it was like really hurting, and I was like in the ring just with my jab, and they had to stop the fight. Yeah. But I was really happy that I went there, because I saw for the first time Katie Taylor, Nicola Adams, and I was like, wow, this is boxing, you know? Now I understand boxing. That's what I want to do. I don't want to turn pro. I want to be the best female amateur boxer, not the best pro boxer. So I think that's the moment I realized that amateur boxing was more my kind of game. Mm-hmm. I stayed with amateur boxing, got into the Belgian team. And then another thing that happened with the second coach was like in 2011, the national team was like coming to me and they were like, we don't want to invest our money in other people. We want to invest it in you to be the first Belgian boxer, female boxer in the Olympics in London. And I was like, all right, that was really nice. But my second coach, he came in and he was like, I don't think that's something for you. Wouldn't you turn pro? And he was like talking me over to not do it.
It's like money.
Yeah, I think so. And since I didn't know the importance then of Olympics and national team, and because I was just into the sports, I didn't do it. And that is my biggest regret of my whole amateur career, that I didn't take that moment to take part in the Olympic team for 2012. It was really, I was gutted. And then like a few months later, I broke my hand again. And then I was like, okay, this relationship with this coach has to stop, because I didn't feel good anymore, mentally, physically. And I didn't want to box at all anymore. I was like, no, I'm done with it. Until I met another coach, the third one. And he made me fall in love again with boxing. So I had an off-on relationship. Yeah. But from that point, I never, ever doubted my career again. I just fell in love with boxing. I went back to what I was doing, the amateur boxing. And then I think 2 years later, I met you in the ring, Bettina.
Yeah, starting, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was an amazing moment, because for me, it was like back into the international boxing. Yeah. I really loved the fight because I was a little dominant in that fight. And I felt like
I don't know if you heard how she explained or described.
that's why I'm being careful here.
But I still like, I also teased you after the fight, like that you didn't knock me down even if I was shaken 5 times. It was like, I'm happy that I came out of the ring and it was good. I mean, yeah.
It was, for me, it was like everything I've learned from that new coach got out in the ring at the right time. And I was surprised by my own abilities and agility and everything I learned. And then meeting you girls, it was like a new world was opening, because women boxing in Belgium is so small. And then suddenly you see all the other girls and you see the other countries, and it's like your mind gets opened, and that's the thing. What you're doing now with the United, it's amazing. Yeah.
That's leading me to the next question, because like you were in Denmark in 2014 for the very first sparring camp I did international, and I know like you didn't take the chance to go to the Olympic with the Belgian team, but you actually boxed the Olympian champion in Ireland.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you talk a bit about that, because that was something big?
Yeah, it was really big, because I first of all, when I was in Poland in 2011, when I saw Katie Taylor boxing, I was like, okay, she's the best boxer I ever seen. So I was like idolizing her. And at a certain point after the Olympics, her father, I think, took contact with my trainer. Yeah, doesn't your girl want to box Katie Taylor? And they never wanted to do it. And so I couldn't go. But 2 years later with my new coach, they were asking it again. And I was like, I really want to do this. I don't care if it's not a big tournament or whatever. I just want to box her, to be in the ring with your idol and just like feel the movements and this energy. I was like, yes, I want to do it. But again, the Belgian team then was like, no, you should only meet her in tournaments and don't take the risk. And I was like, oh my God, I was going nuts,
But that's the thing. It's always a risk about results instead of a risk. Like you can learn a lot with going in the ring with her. Yeah, maybe you would lose, but you would not learn anything if you do not go in the ring with her.
It's experience. And since I didn't have like shots in Belgium to do something, I was like, I want to do this. I was like little baby, like, yes, I want to go. I want to get my lollipop,
I mean, you have a chance to fight your idol. I mean, that's awesome, I think.
It's like my dad is a guitarist. It's like he is playing guitar with his idol. It's like, it's awesome. It's a dream come true. So it's then when I made the shift to the French, to my French coach. Yeah. And I think it was the best, really the best thing that could happen to me was transfer my boxing career into the French flag, actually, because I told him, Mohamed, I got an offer to box Katie Taylor and I really want to do it because she's really good and I think I can do something. And he was like, okay, you can do it, but you have to be really serious and work for it. And I was like, yeah, no problem. So I lived for 2 months in Belgium then, in France then.
But I don't think that you had that problem, because as far as I know you always put the work in it. So it's not like something you wait for getting a result without doing anything for it. You always do whatever you can to get there. So
I was raised that way, and then life is that way. You have to work to get something, And I love training.
I mean, you have to tell more about it. How is it for you, to get there, to meet her, to the whole thing? I mean, I'm thinking you are fighting your idol, so you have a lot of things in your head.
Star-crossed and everything.
So let us know.
The first step was training, and I didn't work at that time, so I concentrated 100% into training. And since it was the first time that I did that, and like 3 months just training, just boxing, thinking about training, I felt so ready for it, more than I ever felt ready. My body was sharp, the weight, it was all okay. Plus I had a new coach who really believed in me, but in like kind of a really coach way, He can train really good, but he's also great in connecting with his athletes. He knows the mind. He knows he's the best coach ever. Yeah. So we left, and I came into Ireland, and they like welcomed me like I was the superstar. It was crazy. And I had to meet I had to go to the boxing gym, and then I had to meet all of the boxers, the boys and the girls, and then they gave me a tour into Limerick. It was at Limerick. It was with Ken Moore, a really good guy. But then the day of the weigh-in, I saw her for the first time, and I was like,
I gave you a hug.
I want to fight you, but I also want to hug you.
Please sign my T-shirt. Please sign my hair, my clothes.
Sign this. I will never wash it again. No, but it was really cool. They made T-shirts of me and her boxing, of like silhouettes of boxers. And so the weigh-in, it went really well. We shook hands and we talked a little bit. She was really chill. And then we went for dinner, and I was like, okay, weigh-in is done. Now I'm going to get some food. Because actually, at that moment, we did the weigh-in like the pros, 24 hours before the fight.
That's good.
I was like, yes. I weighed at 61 kilo, which is really low. I can't imagine right now to get that low again. But so I was in good shape, and the day after I had a good rest, took my breakfast, and I was I was really relaxed. I think I never had really stress for that fight because I was the underdog, 1. 2, there weren't great expectations, but still my coach expected the best of me. I had the best preparation ever. I did the training camp. It was amazing. So I went into the ring and felt like, let's play this game, you know? And I remember that we were fighting and boxing, and that's the first round, bam, she hits me. And I was like, oh. I was in the elevator, you know? I was like, oh shit. So I have to be careful. And then, I adapted my boxing, and we had a great fight. And it was crazy, with the ring walk, there was a choir of people. Yeah, I think there were 40 persons singing my song. It was like, what? It was crazy. And then the people were shouting. Also for me, the Irish people are amazing people.
Yeah,
they were shouting for her, but also for me. And afterwards, they were coming over to thank me to be there. So it was, I think, the first international experience that I felt that the supporters were really honest and really. It's here you have soccer, but there you have boxing, and it's so popular, and they're so thankful, and they want to support everyone, and it was a great feeling. It was just amazing, and to be with her in the ring, it was good to see what she could do and how I adapted my style to her style, and it was really nice. It was a dream come true, and I would do it again.
But you never know. So
she's in my division now.
so you had this that was a really good fight for you. I saw it, and that was probably one of the biggest moments of your amateur career, I think. And then you turned pro. Yeah.
So as I was with the French team, with the French coach, not the French team, I did some competition there in France. But as I don't have the nationality, I can't do the national championships. So in Belgium there was nothing for me. In France there was nothing for me. And then they asked me to help prepare Estelle Mossely with the French team. And I went into, I think, 3 training camps to spar and to box. And it was crazy because I got paid. I was like, huh? What is happening here? I wasn't used to that. But at a certain point, my coach was like, okay, Oshin, we can't do any national championships, or you stay amateur and you do some Saturday nights boxing fights, or you turn pro and we can see what you can get out of your career. And I think it was the first time I really thought of turning pro, because before I didn't want to do it, because the professional world in boxing is totally different from the amateur world. And it's like an economy, and with the management, and it's totally different. But with the coach I had, Mohammed, I felt safe and secure to pass that. And so I think it was in 2016, I turned pro and did my first professional fight.
Yeah. That was cool. It was really nice to see.
It was cool, but the fight was like, oh. You know, you have your first pro fight, it's like a walkover fight, and I always told my coach, I don't want to be I don't want to be the kind of professional boxer who only box easy fights. I want to get the real work done, real work done. But yeah, I had to follow the management, you know. And Mohammed respected it, because the second fight I had was against a French girl in the south of France. And in the first round, she cut me open here in my eyebrow. And then Paul, the second coach, is like, Oshin, they're gonna stop the fight. It's bleeding too much. I got into the second round, like, boom! And I KO'd her. Like, okay, let's get the money and go home. No, but you know, I think they gave me that second fight because the first fight was like, you know, it was an easy fight and I didn't get much honor out of it, you know?
You said, you know, the difference between professional and amateur, and I think that's also an interesting topic for many to talk about. What would you like highlight from like the main difference for you was, like, also on the positive side, but also maybe a little bit on the negative side?
I will start with the negative and go over into the positive. So I think the negative side is that it's not like a tournament system. Like professional boxers, you can avoid a lot of people and still get to the top.
Yeah.
For me, that's like, it's weird, you know. It has a lot to do with money, the contracts, and I think it's really it's professional, you know. And there's too much money in it, and that's something that it's against my morals, you know. And that's why I didn't want to turn pro. So that's like the kind of the negative side. But the positive side is like, it has a lot of positive things, you know. It's like you can train always with your coach. You choose your coach and he's always in your corner. Like now with the amateur, with the Olympics, I have to go with the national coach, which is weird for me.
Yeah.
So you have your own trainer and everyone who takes care of the, you know, how do you call it, the wraps, the bandages. And also when you box, you have like that special moment. Like you come into the ring, you have your music, and like it always gives me chicken skin. You know, it's like you really feel the apotheose of all the work. It's like you're training like 8 weeks into the fight. You have like the training camp, and it's all like building up into this one particular moment, and you get everything out at that night. With amateurs, you have like every weekend a moment, but it's never like you go in, you go out, you go in, you go out. With a professional, you have your moment and your time, like in the ring as well. Instead of the 3 times 3 minutes, you have like, I always do 8 or 10 rounds of 2 minutes, and you express yourself more, you know. You can build up and you can have like a little bit low tempo, then you get higher in the tempo. It doesn't have to go that fast. Like in amateurs, you have to get everything out from first second to the last. In professional boxing, if you lose the second round, you have still 8 rounds to win, you know? So that's kind of a different feeling for me now, again, with the amateurs. Also, a positive thing about the pro boxing is the helmet. I know it's safer with one, but it's a great feeling to box without one. You feel really free. It's crazy. It's like you have even the moment to pick the braids when Charlotte does my braids, I'm like, yes, almost that time, you know. Then you have the how do you call it in English?
I have no idea.
Taping.
Yeah.
The moment when they put the tapes on,
The
it's also magical. And to pro boxing, you have that little moment with your coach. You're really, you know, you have one way to go now, and the only way to go is into the ring. You know, that's also really great. And with the amateur boxing with the helmet, it's strange. And when I see myself on video boxing with the helmet and like the blue uniform or the red uniform, I suddenly look like a 16-year-old again. It's funny. It's funny, and that's I think in pro boxing it's also about the marketing.
Yeah.
You have to be. You're not only a boxer, but you have to be like kind of how do you call it? A brand. You have to create a brand to make yourself popular, to get the tickets. And the other positive thing about boxing is that pro boxing is the money, you know. With each fight you have a certain. It's not a lot. It's not like the men boxing, like the boys and everything, but still you have some money, because I work part-time now, no full-time anymore because I had 2 burnouts, and I took the part-time job because I had some money with the professional boxing, and that money I invested again into the boxing. So I boxed to go to boxing. You know?
So I just wanna, like, for the people that don't know who Estelle is, that you were like helping in was it 2015 probably, or 16? You spoke her? Estelle, yeah.
Estelle was the Olympic champion.
Exactly. So you started up to her Olympic in 2016, and she actually fought Katie Taylor at that Olympic, and she won. And Estelle is a gold Olympic medalist. That's also like a huge experience, I think, that you are the sparring partner and she go to the Olympic and she win.
Yeah, it was really. I'm gonna tell a story, and because I'm really kind of proud of myself, and because of all the work I did for boxing. It didn't came like this, you know. But I put my heart into it and all the work. And on a certain moment, I had to go to INSEP. It's the National Institute for Boxing in Paris. And I had to spar her. I never seen her before, but I had to spar her. So I sparred and everything went well. And then like a few months later, she came over to the north of France to do a training camp, and her coach was with her. And we were like eating afterwards, having dinner. And he was like, "I'm so happy you're Belgian because I thought you were the only concurrent of Estelle in France. You couldn't beat her." And then I got to the Olympics, and I was like, oh, you know, oh, thank you, you know. It felt really, behind the scenes, it felt really good to hear that kind of confirmation, because I never got it in Belgium. I never really felt recognized. And then in France, in another country, I got so much recognition, and it was really it was weird, but good weird, you know. And it made me feel proud, but also it made me realize that all the work that I had done, it wasn't for nothing, you know. And then when she won the Olympics, I was like, wow, that's pretty cool, because she had a high level.
We got a question here because we have also our chat here, and then there was asking like, do you think the economic climate may affect ladies boxing, for example,
at the moment, for sure,
other income?
First of all, it's really difficult over here in Belgium to get sponsor deals for boxing, because sponsors, they look at the media, social media, if you go into television or not, if you're a regional, if you're a regional champion or a national person, an important person. And now with the COVID, it's definitely really, really hard to get sponsor deals. But I got lucky for the first time in my life a week ago, so I'm really happy. But it has been like, I had 2 sponsors, but it was like €1,000 or something. So that made me pay for my expenses with the transport. I was really happy to get it. I'm really thankful for every support I get. But it's really hard to be a high-level athlete and be in a dominant male sport. And also to be into boxing, because like female soccer players are already better paid than female boxers. So yeah, it's really if you want to box and you want to get on a real high level, you just have to love it.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of sacrifice. It doesn't come from day 1 to day 2. Now I've been into boxing for like 11 or 12 years. I've been 2 times world champion, and I never got a serious sponsor deal. That's crazy, you know.
Nice.
It's crazy. I think it's really hard. It depends also in which country you live and everything. But Belgium isn't that great yet.
Oshin, we don't have a lot of time, unfortunately. I could sit here the whole night. We have like 20 minutes something back. And I know when we start talking, it's just like time flies.
Yeah.
But we ask you to bring a subject with you, something that, you know, means something to you. And of course, we want to hear the story. Why is it important for you? But you also said like it was hard for you to pick. So you have 2 things with you.
Yeah.
You have to do it. You have to do it a bit short also, because we want to ask you some more after.
Okay. But I have one. I explained it already. This I got with the Katie Taylor fight.
Yeah, nice.
Afterwards, it's a monument of Limerick, and it showed me their appreciation for me being there, and like for me in that moment, it was my first fight with my first coach. So for me, that fight was also like it's like a job interview. It was like, okay, I have this fight. Is it okay that I keep training with you guys now? You know, so it really meant a lot, and like the appreciation of the Irish people, and still now they follow me on Facebook, they talk to me, they invite me to do sparring and everything. So I think this is one of the eye openers of my boxing career.
I have to say, I also met like an old girl. And I think in general the Irish people is really sweet, because I met the Duffy. It's like 7 times Irish champion, and she also like brought me a present and things. So they are really humble and really sweet in Ireland, the boxers, I think. So like
and I love it. That's why when she boxed Delphine, the Belgian girl, Katie, in her professional career, there was a lot of like people saying nasty stuff about Katie Taylor, and my heart was like bleeding for the sport, you know. But that's also professional boxing. People get really into like giving bad names to people, and I was like, dudes, chill out. It was not Katie Taylor who gave the scorecards. She boxed her way into the fight. So, and she's not gonna tell the other persons, yeah, you're gonna win now, you know. No. She's not the queen of the scorecards. And I think it was really harmful to see that people were giving her bad names. You don't do that. It's no respect, you know. Stay humble, stay easy, and if you lose, you lose. If you win, you win. And you can think and you have your opinion about it, but don't hate on people. You know?
No, that's like in general. Don't hate people or don't say bad things.
Yeah, but everyone is now like with the protest with George Floyd, everyone is like peace and love, but start with those small things, and then you can make it bigger and more, you know. It's aching my heart always.
What is the other thing, so? Because you said 2 things.
Run.
Of course.
It's not my world title.
Oh, okay.
The world title and is up there.
I can think. Yeah, of course.
But this one was my first championship against a French girl, and she had so much experience in kickboxing.
Yeah.
And she had like through 100 fights or something. Then she turned over to professional boxing, and it was my first championship that I had like kind of a medal or like a belt, and I was actually crying when I got it. But I was before it, I was like, you know, for me championships, it's a fight like another. You know, I just want to fight. You know, I just want to box. and win. But that one, it was like I was working full time. I worked at the hotel where you guys slept. I like barely slept 5 hours. I was like overstressed, and I have to go to training, and it takes me like 1.5 hours to get there, and then I trained for 2 hours, got back home really tired, back to work because I had to close the hotel. So it took me a lot of energy to get at that point to win it. And I think the emotional idea about it, that I had to give so much for it to gain it, it was sweeping me away off my feet. And and I was also feeling really thankful because a lot of people came to support, and my coaches were like, they were really proud of me. And Mohammed is not the kind of coach who is easily happy, you know. He's put in the work, and if he sees you're doing great, he's gonna tell you, but it has to be good, you know. And I think that combination of all the work and energy, and then the pride of my coach was a lot. I feed from the confirmation of my coach. I really love the guy.
I have one thing, you know, because you said a few times that it's not always like easy and ups, but it's also ups and downs. What do you do when you have a period, when you have these down periods? How do you keep up, you know, getting up, training, putting in the hard work and do it? What motivates you? What do you do in order to keep going?
It's really hard, but I do have a sport psychologist. And to make me ease my mind, and like to be happy in the place that I am at that time. So if I feel bad, I have to accept it, and like I try to analyze what is going wrong and then try to change it. But most of the time when I feel down and I go to training, I feel happy after, which is logic, you know, the endorphins and serotonin, you're feeling hyped. But I also started, when I met Charlotte, she explained me a lot about high-level athletes. Like, listen to your body. Like, if you don't feel good, go to a sauna, take a wellness, take a massage, and take time for yourself to be in that moment. Don't feel bad when you feel bad. And I really had to, it was a process to understand for myself, to be okay but not being okay. You know? Yeah. And then day by day you get through it, but I really had to take time, you know. It's all about being in connection with yourself and your mind, and it's holistic, you know. If your mind doesn't go where you want it to go, your body is gonna break down. And I felt it. I had 2 burnouts. I had to stay at home, and it was really hard, but I stayed home from work, but I went to training because that helped me. So I never stopped sporting, actually. It gives me a good vibe, good energy. It's important.
They also, like, you know, there are some meaning at sometimes when people are down, they are advised to, you know, do some kind of sport, some kind of movement, because that has an impact also on the mind. Yes.
Like, but first we have to go
nice. Yeah,
because we have 10 minutes. So
okay. Before Instagram kicks us out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you are like an
Instagram. That's like Instagram.
So you are also an ambassador for Out for the Win, and brought this in because we started the June month is the World Pride Month, as we talked about, and we launched also our campaign. So could you tell us a bit Out for the Win, what that is, and
why did you join?
Yeah, why did you join it?
It's actually, Out for the Win is an association. It's founded by 2 friends of mine, Sharon and Arlena. And they want to make the LGBTQIA+ community visible in sports. First of all, a lot of athletes only come out of their when they finish their career. because of, for example, sponsor deals. People are scared to come out because they lose a huge amount of money. Also, they get kicked off the team, which is really hard. So people can't be themselves and still have to perform at a high level, at the highest level. So it's back to that holistic part. If you don't are okay with yourself and your mind, and you can't be who you really are in your sports, in the culture of sports, how can you expect the best out of yourself?
Yeah.
And there's a documentary about it, Alone in the Game. Everybody should watch it. And so they talk about how it is to be like LGBTQIA in sports. And the Out for the Win is making that visible for the people. And we share our stories to motivate other persons to share their stories and to make it easier to come out, you know. It's like sensibilization, if you understand. And we joined it because it's us, you know. I'm married to a woman, so we're both in sports, you know, and I think it's important to be yourself.
Definitely.
All love, nothing.
Yeah, exactly. You had a question about that also.
Yeah, I was, that part, like, you are a top athlete, she's a top athlete, and, you always have a support system. And I believe she is a huge part of your support system. But you also have to figure out that balance, because you have competition, she has competition, finding that balance, like when she needs you, you need her, and all these things, putting the life together, private life, work, and all these things. I mean, how do you balance that in your home?
Luckily, her season starts when mine is mostly over. So that's a good thing, because when she has a day of competition, you don't want to see her, She's not the Charlotte I know. She's like really, and like I can't say anything to her. But I have to say, you learn to live with it, and like through a lot of communication, because communication is key in everything. And I think we found the right balance, because we do not interfere in each other's training, but like sometimes she comes with me and goes boxing with me, and she really understands my feelings that I have, because I tell it to her. Also, when she has like, now at the moment with my knee, I have to go cycling with her like for 2-3 hours.
With that.
The last Sunday we did 120 kilometers. I was like for 4 hours on this bike. My ass hurts, I'm like, and then you get to understand what it is for her, It's good to try each other's sports, and then you can relate to the feelings they have and relate to the needs they have, because like she can eat a lot of things that I can't, and I think it's really cool of her. Like when I have to get on weight, she's really going with me, She tries to eat less, and if she eats something, she eats it when I can't see it, But that's okay. Overall, we never had really a problem, because she wants to box.
Yeah.
She's gonna do her last season in triathlon. She's gonna box next year.
Really?
She's gonna do a competition.
We're gonna come for the first fight.
Yes, she will. You will sleep here in my apartment.
I think before we say thank you and goodbye, we have a fast question round for you. So Bettina will come with 2 things, and you have to, of course, pick one of those things. We would like to.
I will prepare myself.
Okay, fast or slow?
Yeah.
So you have to pick between these 2, fast or slow.
Oh, yeah. Slow.
Winter or summer?
What?
Winter or
summer? Summer.
Relaxed holiday or active holiday?
Active.
Cat or dog?
Dog.
10 minutes late or 20 minutes early?
Early.
Red or blue corner?
Blue.
Action movie or comedy movie?
Comedy.
City or countryside?
The what?
City or countryside? City.
The sea.
City.
Of ocean. Huh?
Like city. Like it's living in the city or living on the countryside.
Oh, countryside. Countryside.
Okay, being a professional or amateur boxer?
Both. At the moment, amateur.
Okay.
Ask me next year, I will say pro. 2 years later.
So, superwoman or bad woman?
Bad woman. Or,
Yes.
No. Wonder Woman.
Oh, okay.
Wonder Woman.
Yes. I think maybe before we say goodbye, I think maybe if you have a message to girls, because I mean, when we do these training camps, we have a lot of young fighters. And what I love with it is that we talk with them, we have these chats with them sometimes between the trainings and things, and you know, they're listening. And as you were or we were at some point, you know, inspired by others or got some good things. Is there any message you want to send to young female boxers, fighters, or just general to female fighters?
From out of my personal experience, is always listen to your own heart and feeling inside. Because there are a lot of people who want to get the best out of you, but also tear you down. So always when you do something, always do it 100%, 200%, but only because you want it.
Yeah.
I think that's the most, like, also in life, you know, feel the gut feeling and go with what you really think is good for you, and respect boundaries, your boundaries.
Yeah, that's important, I think.
That's an important one.
Just fast, the very last one. Do you have somebody you get inspired from in your life? It can be boxing or whatever.
I have a lot of people close to me, like my physiologist. At the moment, we have been really close with my knee injury. And when I feel down, he can really pep me up, and he can really talk to me with a lot of inspiration. He gives me a lot of inspiration. And I think he's one of the guys now, but I have one friend, fatherish figure, Joe Barber, and he followed my boxing career since I was starting. And he was like, he sent me to my first training camp in Sheffield, actually. I once did that. And he learned me a lot to be critical. Certainly in times like now, when you see everything through media, just don't believe everything like this.
Yeah.
Do your own research and pick the thing that you, again, feel okay with.
We're going to be thrown off now in 20 seconds. So, Oshin,
Thank you so much.
thank you. So nice to see you.
To see you. Say hi.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Ciao.
Bye.